interview?
You're the first one.
Fun! I was thinking for the long established.
We need spring break for over a week.
Show, I know. After 2 weeks of spring break.
Oh, baby steps.
Cool.
Hi everyone, this is Abby.
Hi guys, I'm Ida, I'm 20 and I'm Ugandan and I'm a Watson Scholar.
This question is about major.
Maybe something along the lines of journalism, media studies, English, something like that. Yeah.
Do you want to work in Uganda, or you picture yourself working for like a global organization like UN or?
No, fuck the UN. I would like to curse on it.
I can't edit. I can't.
You can't?
I can't.
Oh, okay. Yeah. No, I definitely want to work in Uganda because there's huge need and huge potential in the market there.
How's the journalism in Uganda? Is it like very corrupted or?
It's very suppressed. So the government does not want anything that doesn't make them look good to be out there. Last year they beat up journalists. If you take photos of like police being violent, they like smash your camera. So it's really bad.
Let's talk about your venture.
What I'm working on is an emergency women's shelter because we don't really it's going to be called Waka Women's Shelter, and basically we train them with
Why
skills.
do you call it Waka?
So Waka means home.
Oh,
yeah.
Is that the same song?
Shakira,
Waka, eh. So she's singing home, eh.
Maybe it has a different meaning in different language. I actually don't know. That's interesting. Okay. That'll be the soundtrack. Every time you walk in, Waka, Waka, home, eh. Yeah, so we'll do like skills training and get them employment or get them to transition and lead independent lives within a year.
So what changes you the most?
Mom's decision to homeschool me. I used to be super shy, and then once I started homeschooling, like I just became more outgoing, more confident, way smarter. I was doing really hard work. I was up to my level. Just made me into the person that I am today.
So does something happen that makes your mom want to homeschool?
Yeah, so for a long time, for like 2-3 years, it was just like frustrating where I'd be like, I'm so bored. They'll give us books to read in a week and I'd finish mine in like 2 hours. I'd do my homework in like 10 minutes and just be so bored. So that was just like an ongoing issue for a while. So
you're kind of a smart kid.
In all humility, like I just, maybe not, maybe my school's just shit, to be honest. And then so she met another family. And the mom was like, oh, I'm homeschooling my kids. And then she's like, oh, okay. And she's like, yeah, Ida's welcome to join. So yeah.
So I think the reason I was a teacher is because I used to be super shy. I skipped kindergarten, because my family, they don't know there's existence of kindergarten.
Really?
Yeah, I was originally from a village. I know nothing about the school. Like, okay. I can't sit up straight. I can't do tests. I still remember the first day. Teacher gave me a test paper. And I just used my pencil to draw it black.
Oh, really?
From every corner, like, to the top.
Did you know how to read and write?
No idea. I was at the bottom. I don't know if I was trained by my mom or I was talented in math. But I had a huge thing in math, so I had a huge improvement. Maybe because my mom, sometimes when she's busy, my home own a restaurant. So my mom sometimes asks me to like take change or something. So like you see like this toddler just make change to customers. So I was super sensitive with numbers. And I got my first 100. Like teachers always have like a present for 100. And I remember when I first got my 100, I was super excited about it. And I went to the office, and the teacher just looked at me saying, you didn't cheat, right? Because I was at the bottom, like everything is at the bottom. And then my mom transferred me to a better school. There was a teacher really, really patient. She just like really put a lot into me. So my grades was like boom. So I think like meeting the right people means a lot.
Yeah.
So I want to be that kind of teacher.
Okay, that's so nice.
What's the bravest thing you've ever done?
Dropped out of like a really good school.
High school?
Yeah. Where I had like a scholarship and everything.
Oh,
and it was like
yeah.
a really prestigious school, and I was just not happy at all.
Rich
I didn't
kids.
yeah. Oof. Awful people. And yeah, I just wasn't happy like at all. Like I would be crying like every day.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, yeah, no, it's not worth it. But it was a very big decision to let go of like a $30,000 scholarship. My mom was very disappointed. I had to like move back home for a bit, blah, 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 blah. But I know for sure it was the right decision because I was just so unhappy. Like I'm much better now. Yeah. By the time I dropped out, I didn't know that I would get into that better school. I didn't know that I'd get that scholarship. So it was like a huge risk, and my mom was like upset, blah, blah, blah. But it all worked out. So it's just like your heart just knows like I am so unhappy. And
You will bump into that a lot because when I graduated, before I graduated, I interned at a really good school. And then at the end of the internship, they were supposed to accept me. They really liked me. Even the principal wants to have lunch with me, that kind of like me. And then when I go back to school to finish my paper, and then the principal sent me a message every day, when do you come back? I'm like, I'm finished my paper. But they really like look on to me. But when I got back, shockingly, I think because I went away for like a good month, and when I got back, I found there's another teacher, and also there's a pregnant teacher coming back. So they're not like a positions. So they told me to go in 2 days, and I was literally crying because I got no friends, and that's my first time because it was in a 13 hours train away from my home. And I got no friends, no relatives, and I have no idea how to move by myself. I had to call the moving truck to save money. I moved all the things by myself. Yeah. But when I got to the new school, it's so much better. It's so much bigger. Just the middle part, like interview every day, and then spending money every day. And then I don't want my mom to know that. But also I'm like losing money every day. I was like living on $1 or $2 every day.
That's a really tough. For how long?
For like half a month, because I was keeping interviews
for new schools.
Yeah, it was really like when you don't know
what
your next step is, you feel like
it's very it's like I'm struggling now, but I don't know if it will pay off.
What do you want to thank yourself the most?
I love that question. I want to thank myself for not giving up. Like through all the really hard times that I've experienced in life, where like I've been like rock bottom, laying on the floor, dying with depression, just going through the worst things.
One thing that you recommend everyone to do?
I need to practice gratitude. So I have a gratitude journal that I fill in every day. I list 3 things I'm grateful for that day. I think it changes the way you look at the world, because you can even have the worst and be like, you know what, I'm grateful I'm alive, I'm grateful I'm breathing, I'm grateful I have food. Like it can be as basic as that, or like, oh, this person did this for me. But yeah, I think practicing gratitude is great. Yeah.
One book that you recommend everyone to read?
Sadly, I don't read as much as I used to, but
you can be a fiction. It doesn't have.
Okay, it can be fiction, but something like
it doesn't have like
10 business.
Motivation
the world.
It doesn't have to be that.
Because I don't read that bullshit. No. Definitely. Is it called 1984 by George Orwell?
Oh yeah.
The Big Brother. Is that the Big Brother book?
Yeah. Big Brother.
Yeah, that book creeped me out, but I think it's like a good commentary on what the world could be, I think.
I feel upset.
Very unhappy when I feel like I am disappointing another person. Because I just worry about it so much.
You consider yourself as sensitive to
other people's
I'm very energy level?
Yes. It's exhausting. Which is why I sometimes try to distance myself from people. Because if I'm around someone and they're upset, then I get very upset. It just brings me down. So I try to restrict that a lot. But
do you remember what big things happened in childhood and what kind of childhood views you? You can be in the level of success, failure, belief, and personality.
But my family moved, so it was the opposite for us. We used to live in the big city, and then we moved to a much smaller town, and my whole life changed. I went from like, I used to go to ballet and piano. I went to a school with like hundreds of kids. You know, we used to go to the park on the weekends, to just like this town where like I was at this really small primary school that wasn't very good, with like 12 classmates, no extracurricular activities. So like my whole life really, really changed. It definitely just had to make me more self-sustainable. So there wasn't things put in place. I think that's why I got into entrepreneurship, where it's like, there isn't like a million things for me to do. I have to create my own thing, sort of thing. I had to like create my own hobbies. I had to, all those kind of things. Yeah. So be a more self-sustainable person, I'd say. Yeah.
What kind of people do you like make contact with? Like be friends with?
Oh, okay. So my best friend is also very sensitive. So I think we understand ourselves in that way. Like, she'll get upset about something that anybody else would be like, why are you upset about that? But I'd be like, I totally get it. I get why that's upsetting. Also, really artistic people. My other best friend. Just like, is this a daily thing?
I decided it is.
But you look so resigned. You look so... This interview is a big success.
If I don't get that video done, it's your fault.
Yeah.
You look deadly as well. It's everybody's
Do
face.
you usually have low temperature?
Is my temperature low?
Kinda.
I'm cold.
It's exactly like yesterday, but I'm just asking. It's like not low. It's
You
just,
keep track of temperature?
yeah. And I'm doing the chart for everyone.
Stop it, Mom. You're being paranoid.
Nah.
Why am I doing that again?
Because I miss English. And 7.8. Exactly like yesterday. You guys are good.
Yay.
Thank you. Have a great interview. I'm next.